Tour dates this week. I'll be all over California with the great Tom Green. You can catch me in Fontana, California, Wednesday the 23rd. Belly Up in Solano Beach on Thursday the 24th. The 25th, I'll be at the Coach House. And 26th, Los Angeles, California, the Delray Theater. Friday, June 13th, and Saturday, June 14th, you can catch me in Fort Collins, Colorado, at the Comedy Fort. Here we are, another episode of Let There Be Talk today. Welcome aboard. Thank you for joining me. Last weekend, just a monstrous weekend for me. A dream come true. I dropped my first special, 5836, on YouTube. And we have already hit 20,000 views. So if you are a new listener here or a, religious listener of Let There Be Talk, do me a favor. Go and leave some comments on the YouTube platform right under my special. It really helps the algorithms. And send it to your friends. Let's keep it going. Let's see what we can get going. I was fired up if I got 5,000 views. So we're at 20,000 and it's only been out 4 days. So very, very cool. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of the positive comments. This is absolutely insane. I've never seen it really. 98% positive comments on YouTube in this fucking insane world. Holy shit. That is, I was ready for the fucking punches in the face, but it ain't happening. So, shit, man. That is pretty damn cool. What do we got today? We got a comedian today on the show. Somebody that I met probably around the first couple years I was doing comedy. Jessica Michelle Singleton, known as JMS around the Comedy Store. A soldier, a grinder out there constantly. That I would see her everywhere like myself. There was a group of people. It was like her, Tony Baker, who else? Tony Hinchcliffe, Benji Aflalo. It was just constantly Gerard Carmichael. There was this group of comedians, and we were everywhere every night. Different venues, all open mics, signing up, trying to get somewhere in the world of comedy. And she has got here today with a special like myself. Shot it herself, paid for it herself out in New Orleans. It's coming out at the end of the month. And hell yeah, man, I pay it forward. I'll have comedians on that put out their own specials anytime because everybody helped me out over the last couple weeks. And I want to thank all those podcasts that had me on. Just unbelievable. So yeah, make sure you check out her special. Follow her on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that and see her out on the road. She's always out on the road. Very cool. Fun episode. Sitting down. We're just both amped up, hammering about our lives at the open mics. Just wah, 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 wah. It's fucking funny. She's got a great story, man. She did Let's Make a Deal, and I never forgot it. You'll love that story, and many others. Before I get out of here, let me just see here if I got anything else to say. If you are a member of the Patreon, thank you. And if you are not, patreon.com/Dean Delray. There will be a new bonus episode dropped this week. You do not want to miss that. And I'll be talking about all kinds of stuff. AC/DC out on tour. What else? Easter. My thoughts on Easter. And a few other things. Yeah. Ooh, exciting. That sounds fun. Your thoughts on Easter? I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. It'll be good. Check it out. Join Patreon. And while we're at it, I want to just give a huge shout out to some of the people that really pulled the trigger on those super thanks on YouTube. Daniel Tesh, James DeWeaver, Sam Trujillo, Scott Murillo, Nick Miele, Jose Munoz, Victor Guzman, Troy, one named Troy, And I mean, there's so many here, but thank you for the people that did a little tipping on the PayPal and the YouTube. PayPal, I do want to read off some of the people that also did hit the PayPal, which was pretty goddamn cool. You can hit the PayPal, Dean Delray at yahoo.com. Frankie Arila, Maximilia Von Bert, thank you. Mark Brunot, these are old soldier Delraisers. I love them. Michael McDougall. Our nude Tabby. I'm just trashing names. Donate and get your name trashed. Anyway, yeah, thank you so much. I'm kind of blown away, actually. I'm pretty fired up from the great weekend and the response from my special. Once again, thank you so much. All right, I'll see you out on the road, and I will keep hammering you with the clips. Sorry. I'm proud of this special, and I'm just going to keep talking about it until I shoot another one. Here we go. Let's get into it. Let's get some comedy talk going. Candles are lit. Jessica Michelle Singleton. Another episode here. Here we are. A comedian today. It's rare that I have a comedian on because... when I started the podcast, other people were interviewing comedians. I was like, I don't want to do that.
Fuck comedians.
No, I love comedians, but...
You want to do something different? I mean, you do. Your podcast is so cool. The people you get on.
Oh, man, it's fucking... Yeah.
Hey, I make music. It's not rock, so...
Yeah, country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I checked out some of your stuff, by the way. I'm jumping in so fast. I'm coming
that's
in
all
so
right.
hot, but...
I got a record out from 99.
I listened to it. It was sick, man, and I was like, oh, it's quintessential 90s.
Well, it's
or that, like, era.
Yeah, it's like, Wilco, alt country, Tom Petty, Wildflowers, Black Crows.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is a vibe, Dean.
Yeah,
what the hell?
I told the story, though. My special comes out, on Thursday. And I listened to the record about a month ago. I hadn't listened to it in maybe 5-10 years, maybe.
Yeah.
And I was hiking, and I go, I'm going to throw this song because I need a song for the credits.
Yeah.
And I listened to it, and I go, fuck, I love this record. And I love my special. So I don't really care. These are for me.
Yes. You're like, these are the things I love. I want to, and that you got to put them together is great too.
Well, I mean, it's like if you put out garbage that you don't like, and somebody trashes it, then you're like, yeah, he's kind of right.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I shouldn't have put that out.
But if they're trashing something that you love, you're like, yeah, the same for you.
Yeah, it's you're just not my audience. It took me a long time to let go of not everyone's going to be your audience. You don't have to. Everybody's not going to love you. You just find your people. Well,
somebody told me yesterday, somebody posted up, which comic do you think sucks? And it was literally hundreds and hundreds of all the best.
The best ones. Yeah, no, I see that'll pop up in my Facebook newsfeed every once in a while. It seems to be a trend.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's tagging the big comedians.
Well, I always think that people champion you on the way up. They're like, that's our guy with bands. I've learned it for years with bands. Then they get to the top and they're like, fuck that band.
Sell out.
Yeah, it's so fucking garbage.
I never want to be at the top. You watch every few years, it's somebody new that they're just like...
I'm down with some strong medium.
Just right in the middle.
Strong medium. Yes. Occasional theater.
Yeah, right? Just go sell in some clubs.
Under the radar.
Yeah.
But working, this is my 41st year on stage, so under the radar.
That's wild.
I know.
How does it for you? Now I'm interviewing you on your podcast, but the difference in because you did music for years.
25.
How's the rush compare?
Comedy's way better.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know, like you or other people, they they play some music too, and I'm like, get out.
You're like, don't go down that road.
Get out.
It's dark.
Stay focused on the comedy.
I know. I mean, you have to. It's such a long game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, what happened? You were like, you did like a country song and it hit?
Yeah. I was dating a musician during lockdown, not a country musician, but I think I just annoyed him enough that I was like, hey, I got this idea for a song. I've always wondered, I like to sing. Just let me hang out with your friends. We'll write it out. Let's for fun.
Yeah.
And then I put it out and a bunch of people started sharing it and it got, it tracked in like the top 40s on the iTunes charts and a couple stations played it. And it's just small, in the grand scheme of things, but I was getting enough attention that I was like, oh, maybe I should try making more music. There were people that I knew from entertainment, like the industry. I knew them from doing comedy and they had never given me the time of day. And then all of a sudden they were calling me and they're like, you gotta do more music. And I'm like, oh, I hate you guys.
Oh, yeah. It's always something. Like when I left music and started comedy, people are like, well, why did you leave music? And I'm like, have you ever done anything for 25 years?
You get tired.
Have you ever done anything for 2 years?
I mean, God, it can be exhausting. You have to love it. And I imagine it's the same with music, that at a certain point you could stop loving it the same way. Yeah. And I see people in comedy. I watch, people we started with start to hate it. And you're like, it's so hard. Why are you still going if you don't at least love doing it?
Yeah, get a regular job. It's so much easier. You come home at night, you got a paycheck, you sleep in your own bed.
Security.
You only hate like 3 people.
Yeah, instead of just like a new person every week that you feel slighted by for no particular reason. It's been crazy.
How long you been doing comedy? Like the same as me?
15 years in July. Yeah.
Yeah, I just started my 16th year.
Yeah.
And where we meet? Like the comedy store?
I think, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Up, the old Ha.
Right.
Doing, giving Jack $5 to go do the mic. That's how I started in LA. It was just down the street from me. So I was like, all right.
$5 open mics.
Yeah.
I used to have $20 a day I gave myself, and it was like 7 for Taco Bell. You could get a couple 7 layers and a drink.
The most comedian thing. Yeah, you're like, this is the food budget.
And then 5 for gas for my motorcycle. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
And a couple 5s for open mics.
Yeah, you hit it hard too. I was always like low-key jealous of the bike. I was like, man, fuck that guy for being able to get around so fast.
Yeah.
Stuck in traffic. Like, I'm not going to make it to sign up at the Improv or whatever.
Yeah, it is. Holy shit. Sometimes I think about it now. Like I went and did La Jolla last Thursday just to do a one-nighter. I used to ride my motorcycle there for 15 minute spot.
That's wild now.
I know. And as I'm driving home, I go, no fucking way could I do that now.
Yeah. I'm like, thank God I had the energy. And maybe if I was new to it, I'd still have that. I still have a lot of energy about it. But when I think about that kind of stuff, that I would drive so far. Just a 10-minute set instead of a 7?
Right.
I could really work out some stuff here.
Oh, yeah, because we're doing 3 in town.
Yeah.
And to be able to do 10, you do a 2-hour drive to do 10.
Yeah, for nothing.
Oh, for free.
Yeah. Just to spend money just buying food and like paying for gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of feel like that's what you have to do.
You have to do that. I laugh kind of now when people complain about something, Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you don't even know. Like you had a video go viral and you've only been doing this a year and now you're on tour. You have to go through the fucking beatdown to become a soldier on stage.
Absolutely. You have to be in the trenches. Otherwise, I think we had to put ourselves in positions where it was nearly impossible or so fucking hard to get as good as you can possibly get. If it's always crowds if you're never struggling on stage, I feel like you're not going to reach your potential.
Yeah.
You have to like go through the meat of things to make your stuff better and get more comfortable.
What got you into it?
Mental illness. I don't know.
No, but were you watching comedy?
As a kid, yeah. I grew up in a house that watched a lot of my mom. It always boggles people's mind when I'm like, Carlin really inspired me because they're like, You? You're humping the air. What do you?
Yeah.
But I grew up my mom loved stand-up, so we'd watch all the HBO specials, and then comedic, like sitcom type shows of the 90s. I grew up, like watching Living Single and Living Color. SNL was big in my house.
Of course.
It was the only thing that my house was united about was laughing. So, I mean, I have the classic, shitty childhood that made me funnier because it was
Alaska, right?
Well, I lived in Mississippi until 6th grade.
Right.
And then we moved my mom drove us from Mississippi to Alaska. So deranged.
Like me, who's been around the world, I'm like, you can drive there?
Yeah,
Alaska always seems like some place you can't drive.
I mean, you can do a full drive through Canada. What we did was my mom drove us from Mississippi to, I think it was Bellevue, Washington. Honestly, I was so young, it's hard to remember, but there's a ferry you can drive your car on. My mom's like, it'll be like a cruise ship. It was a Greyhound bus on the sea.
Yep.
We're on this ferry
you sit
boat.
in your car, right?
Oh my God, thank God, no. My mom got us the upgrade for a cabin, which was just like 2 bunk beds in a little room. And you had to pack your own food. And we're just on this ship with a bunch of people who, I mean, if you're taking a ferry boat into Alaska, you've had some dark moments. Like,
and what is it like going for a pipeline employee?
My mom got a job. My mom's always been a civilian employee for the government. A lot of my friends are convinced she's in the CIA because of the places she has been after I graduated high school. But she got a job with the Fish and Wildlife up there. So they offered her money. They offered to pay to move her. It was right after my parents split up. And I think she was just, I mean, at the time I was like, you're ruining my life. Yeah. But now I'm kind of the age she was, and I'm like, oh my God, if I had 2 kids and my methed out husband had just hit the bricks, like, yeah, I'd be like in a small town. I'm like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
The whole town's talking.
Yeah. Meth in a small town.
Yeah.
There's a movie.
Yeah. Let's write it.
You're like the only guy in the small town up all night. Why isn't the liquor store open?
Yeah. So
this
like,
bullshit.
There's Doug again.
Yeah,
just
Doug.
breaking stuff.
Was that his name, Doug?
No, his name was John, but Doug feels like a good. Yeah. John
Doug.
Michael.
So, I mean, you moved to LA for what?
For comedy. I mean,
Really?
I did it a little bit in college. I went to college in Florida. The last year I did a couple open mics, and in retrospect, I'm like, this is so deranged. But I was like, I'm going to Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go big or go home. Like, why? I guess I had the mindset of why try to make it in a smaller scene, just to have to restart. So
I mean, you got to be a little deranged to get into this.
Yeah, no.
Or any entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no guarantee. And I never really even cared about it wasn't about making it. To me, getting on stage at the Comedy Store at the potluck was making it.
Yeah, no, right? That you're like, if I just get on that list.
Yeah.
I try to channel that now because it's easy to have moments of, I don't even want to say taking it for granted, but it becomes routine.
Yeah.
And I try to like have moments where I remember that the things I'm doing were such a pipeline dream at some point that if me, driving into my Kia Spectra 15 years ago could be like, I'm at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Like I'm on my name's on the wall. It's been a great,
I got a pamphlet somewhere here. I forget. It's around here somewhere. I used to save all those potluck lists.
Really?
Yeah, so I got them all. It's crazy to go through. It's like Suicide Jimmy.
Yeah, is he alive?
GT. I think GT passed. Boone Shakalaka.
I heard he passed too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what somebody just told me.
Man, so you
that's the list. I mean, it's
and then the real magic is as you start to see. You're maybe 1 or 2, the opening of potluck, awful. Then you move up to like 5, and then you're at like 8, and then you're at the end when it's really finally some maybe people in there because it was empty back then.
Oh yeah, and that was like the spot that was the whole thing when you started getting at the end of potluck. You're like, I'm gonna get in here.
Yeah,
they like me.
Yeah,
it was such a crazy time. And you were counting all your sets. Did you count? So wait, I have to know.
I counted them all.
Yeah.
All of them since day one.
I'm gonna re-ask you this on my podcast, but
Yeah.
did that include mics or just shows?
No, Mike's. From day one,
Man,
December 6, 2009, Hollywood Improv.
that was your first
Yeah, I
time
did-
up. Was at the Improv?
Yeah, I did this show. It was like, so you always wanted to try comedy, like one of those.
Oh yeah.
I was like a housewife, a fucking construction worker, some, dentist. I met my dentist there,
I met a chiropractor
Yeah.
from an all-female comedy showcase like that.
It was one of those, and this guy, Joe Ferrazzo, ran it. And,
wow.
And, he was in the comedy scene in New York. He was an older guy, and I just, went down there and did it. And then 3 days later, I did the Belly Room. That guy, Jerome Cleary, and
I remember
Abel,
that name.
the Armenian guy. I forget his name. They ran a show on Friday nights.
In the Belly.
Yeah. And then that was it, man.
You were just
298
hooked.
that year.
Wow.
298.
Man, just addicted, just hitting it.
Well, some people go, oh, yeah, it's addiction. To me, it was kind of just like, oh, I should have been doing this. Oh.
You found the thing.
Yeah, I found the
That's the thing. I mean, I felt the same way. The first time I ever did stand-up was it was an open mic at Side Splitters in
Yeah.
Tampa, because that's where I went to college. And I didn't know that the open mic was a competition to be in the semifinals of Florida's Funniest Person or some, like local.
Some scam.
Yeah, some bringer scam probably. Yeah, for sure. But I did stand up because at the time I was like, oh, well, I would love to be on SNL, but I don't know how you do that. Some of them are stand-ups. I'll try stand-up. And I don't know if it was this way for you, but like the first laugh, it was like, oh, it's so woo-woo, but I'm like, this is the thing I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like you just feel it. You're like, oh, this is where I belong.
Yeah, and I grew up like you on stand-up. So to me, it was comedy and rock and roll.
Yeah.
They were the same thing. So you'd put on a Richard Pryor record, and then you'd put on an AC/DC record
Yeah.
at a party. It wasn't like, what the fuck did you put on? It was like, yeah,
Yeah, it's like, of
Pryor.
course you did that. Yeah, and everyone
Yeah.
went crazy, and they
And you're
loved
over
it.
there, I'm doing the impressions of it, But Rodney,
Oh, I loved Rodney. I loved
Caddyshack.
Oh, I mean, all those great
Yeah.
movies. I grew up on Rodney, and then Robin Williams albums. I didn't listen to those until later.
Right.
Even those are great. Even though I know people say controversially he may have borrowed some bits.
Yeah, he would just write checks.
Yeah, he's like, can I have that and just write you a check? But
It was constant bumps, though. Then, I'm in San Francisco. The comedy scene's huge. The first big comedy wave. It's Bobcat.
Yeah.
He's there. It's Robin Williams. It's
Purple Onion.
Bobby Slayton, Carrie Snow, the Morning Zoo type of stuff.
Oh
Huge.
yeah. Oh, that morning zoo stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what I grew up on. The like kooky radio pranks too.
That's a great Marin bit, right? When he imitates it to three people.
Yes.
Fuck it. So, yeah, I get it. You're around comedy. You get to LA. Do you remember your first time going to the store?
The first time I went to the store was actually, I visited LA before I moved out here. I didn't get up. I signed up for potluck. Some guy who I cannot remember in Tampa, who in retrospect, I can't remember his name. He looked a lot like Norm Macdonald. That means nothing, but he was like, oh, Tommy, I know Tommy. When you get there, go say hi to him. And now I have no idea if that guy was like a legit comic or if he was just like one of the,
But he knew Tommy's name.
hanger-arounders of the store, kind of
Right.
fringe weirdos that are always going to be there. They're like part of the vibe.
Yeah.
But, I went around back and I was like, is Tommy here? And they're like, no. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And
That's the vibe back
so
then.
scary.
Oh.
A baby comedian. The door guys are so mean.
As a ghost town. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
one there. Everybody's angry.
Yeah, everyone's so pissed.
Yeah.
So I signed up and didn't get up, but then I got a ride with Courtney Black, if
Yeah.
you remember her, Marcella, and
yeah.
Jamar. I met them on the patio, and they're like, well, there's another mic at Sunset Grill.
Oh, yeah.
Which, it was this attic mic a couple blocks down the road, and like, let's go there. So I was just like, all right, I'm hopping in with these people I just met on this patio. And those were my first kind of LA friends I guess I made, or people in the comedy scene I met, and I went up in that attic, had a great set, and great
Right,
open
yeah,
mic
of
set,
course.
and you just go, well, it wasn't for nothing. At least I got up.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I didn't go I didn't go to the Comedy Store really till I was like 2 or 3 years in.
Wow.
Because I had this fear. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
But I had this fear of, what if I get pulled and I'm not good enough?
Oh,
You
yeah.
put it on this pedestal and it's like, let me tell you, you're going up in a lineup where there's going to be tons of people who aren't good enough, and you have to be so iconically bad for people to remember you're bad. The best case scenario is you're great and people go, who's that? Worst case, they just kind of forget you.
And
at that level.
there was no audience at that time, so
No.
it didn't even matter. It's just comics.
Yeah, it's just Tony Hinchcliffe in a corner, and I'm like, oh God, please don't make fun of me when I get off stage.
Yeah, Benji Aflalo. And they were kind of mimicking the
class before
Danish
them.
and O'Neill, yeah, where they'd be like, oh, you fucking suck.
They roasted everyone.
Yeah.
It's like, no wonder they ended up becoming roast writers and stuff, but it was so intimidating being like, if I do bad, the door guys are gonna make fun of me. And it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
they're gonna make fun of you if you do good. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, to me, it didn't matter at all because I was like, hey, I'm 44, and also I had done a shitload of stuff, but I didn't say anything to them. I
Yeah.
didn't go, I've traveled the world and I've done movies. I
Can
just
you
went in there
imagine?
like, I don't know what to do,
And you're
and
like,
then
I'm just a comedian like you
I
guys.
just laid back. But I just remember getting there, and there was a giant guy, and this guy really became a friend and helped me before you even really see Tommy, Alex Moore.
Oh.
So he was in charge of pulling the names and putting it together, and he was a giant.
I don't know this guy.
Oh, he's a giant white guy, and we're still friends. He moved back to Alabama or whatever. He was open micer that became a comedian at the store and got passed, and then kind of ran the potluck.
Whoa.
And I'm telling you, he's bald, giant biker-looking dude.
I must have just missed this guy since I didn't go right away.
Oh, yeah, and he would tell me stories like he'd ride the bus 2 hours to sign up on the list, and when the list came out, one guy got stabbed because it was just like
Mayhem.
pigeons, yeah.
I think they do a line now.
Yeah,
But
online or something,
No.
I think.
Oh, yeah. They did move it to online, but then I thought that they had moved it back to maybe
It was
not.
crazy,
It was
though.
mayhem. You're just squeezing. That's where I had an advantage being like little. I would
Yeah.
just slither in between people and be like,
It was like a mob, like pigeons when you throw seed at me. It's like,
crazy.
boo, boo, boo.
Everyone's just
You get your
shoving,
arm
trying
in
to get on a
there,
line.
You got
Yeah.
your own pen.
just like scribbling and being like, I
Yeah.
hope you can read my name.
And then it was like, and then you just sat on the patio for a
an
few
hour.
hours.
Yeah.
And then this list would come up. They tape it on the inside window.
Yeah.
And everybody would get ready.
Just flock to the window and you just watch people get disappointed. if someone-
Defeated.
Yeah. And
The
then you hear someone go,
defeated turn.
I'm on.
Yeah.
I'm on.
Yeah.
And it was just like the first time you get on that list, you're like, this is it.
Yeah.
I remember feeling like this is my big moment. And there's so many times now that I'm like, they both are big milestone moments, but
Totally.
it's like your life wasn't going to change overnight from that moment, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It was all little things in the, little bubbles boiling in a pot, basically, is how
Yeah. I mean, it really does change when you look back on it now. You go, wow, well, that is really the stepping stone.
Yeah, that person saw me, then they mentioned me to somebody else.
Right,
And
right.
it's all these little tiny things that added up to us getting to where we are. You know what I never thought about with you starting later in your life that you just touched on, because you're like, I was 44, I didn't care. And now I'm in my mid 30s.
Yeah.
And the difference just in now and how little I give a fuck about what people think of me.
Yeah.
That must have been such a gift.
Oh, it was.
That you're like, I don't
those
fucking
guys,
care if you like me.
They were very, very insecure.
Oh, yeah.
And I get it because I was at one time that age. So if people start getting a little traction or heat, they're going to get jealous. They're going to start saying shit. And I'm like, I already saw this in the rock and roll world. You'll get over it. And your best way around me is just to bring me into the camp.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to provide all kinds of cool things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like, yeah, you can leave me out, but you're going to miss out on all the good stuff.
Yeah. So, and I think eventually what happened was they were like, back then it was a heavy hazing to see if you really wanted it.
It was so hazy.
Brutal.
Like a fraternity.
Brutal. And people now don't even fucking know. They complain like, I can't believe I'm on at 9:30.
Shut up, pussy.
Wow. You had to do 1 a.m. for a couple years when you got passed. When I got passed and you got passed. It was 1 a.m.
Yeah, it was it. Did they even have a 1 a.m. spot now? That's
I don't
crazy.
think so. Yeah. So
you were like initiated and people...
Yeah.
You didn't get into the main room. At least I didn't for like a while.
The main room wasn't even running except for 1 day a week.
That's so true.
It was a storage room with a piano and a bunch of chairs.
Yeah, the piano used to just be out on the stage.
Yeah.
And people would go there late night and just play the piano.
Smoke weed. It was like a giant clubhouse.
Yeah.
Matt Taylor would do Thursday bringer shows, and then they would have a show on Saturday, and that's it.
That was it. So there was slim pickings.
Yeah.
When you finally did get a main room spot, it was
and
like...
the Tuesday, the urban show.
Oh, yeah. What was it called? Tuesday, something Tuesdays.
Yeah, I forgot. But anyway, so that was the main room was just a hang, and people lived in the dressing room.
Yeah, it was literally just an empty place to run around. It was like a weird summer camp for degenerates.
So let's talk about your showcase. So you're at the store for a while because I just talked about it last night with another paid regular. The showcases rarely happened.
Yeah. Did you get passed in a showcase or were you passed by Tommy?
I got passed by Tommy, but what happened was, we did a couple showcases.
I didn't know he did showcases.
Well,
I always thought it was just like, you're passed now.
Here's what happened. He would once in a while, he would come over and go, Paulie's in the room. He wants to see you. Go up now. And you'd be like, huh?
That's so funny.
There wasn't really, quote unquote.
Like a formal showcase. They just would throw you in there.
He was constantly watching, but...
giving his obscure notes sometimes.
Yeah, come on. You did a cum in your eye joke. The sun's out. You don't talk about coming in someone's eyes when it's 7:30.
Yeah, he'd get so mad at me.
Or he'd go, you went over him. You didn't go in. And then he'd storm away. And, a lot of people trash on him and eventually got caught stealing or whatever, allegedly. But I will tell you this, at the time, there were things that he would say that you were like, later on in life, you're like, oh, he was definitely right on that.
He was spot on. Yeah, there were times where he'd say things where I was like, what is he talking about? And then he would drop a gem that I was like, dang, that's gold.
Yeah.
In his like tiny glasses in the booth. And I'm like, what are we doing, Tommy?
Once in a while, he had a black eye because this lady and him would fight.
Which is so insane.
But, he'd play heavy mind games, too. So not only is the comics hazing you, but he was playing mind games. He'd be like, come by tomorrow, I'll put you on. And then you show up and you're not on the list. And he's all, can't do it. Sorry. And you'd be like, what? I've been here all night. You said you were putting me on. It's 2 a.m.
Yeah,
and you're
you gotta want it. Just watch, take it in. Like, what's happening? And that was just how it was. And it would just be this elusive.
Yeah.
Like, he put me in development. And it was just like, you can call in for development now.
Yeah.
I got my showcase. I showcased 3 times for Adam.
Wow. Oh, Adam passed you.
Adam passed me. Yeah, I'll never really know if I was on the cusp with Tommy because I think there's a ton of people who now aren't even in development because it changes with every booker.
Right.
But I felt like I was like, any minute now, Tommy's going to call me up to the big league. And then he got ousted and I was like, uh-oh. But it was Adam who was already the GM. He'd seen me go up. I didn't know until Adam was the talent coordinator that I knew he liked me as a person. We chatted on the patio and stuff, but I didn't know if he'd seen my comedy or gave a shit about it. So then I would say fortunately in the style of, he liked my comedy.
Yeah.
So I was one of the people that he kept trying to showcase me, and I did the road so much that he'd be like, well, you're not here. I can't do anything. You're in the middle of the country doing a bowling alley. Like, what do you want me to? Because I would do these summer tours where I would just drive out and I'd have all these shitty one-nighters. But I'm like, I'm headlining. I get to do 45 minutes. I'm doing an hour. Yeah, and I loved it. Making money and getting to stretch your legs. And a long set is just a different muscle than those really short sets. It just, it feels so good.
Yeah.
You're free up there. But I did one showcase and I felt Like, it was fine. It was fine. It was good enough, but it's not like I crushed it. He didn't pass me. And I was like, okay. Then my second showcase, I had to follow Eric Myers, who burned the room down with his Taco Bell bit. I mean, people were standing up and
Taco
saying,
Bell!
"Oh my God!
Taco Bell!
Yeah, just murder city.
Bless this bag of cocaine, Your Honor.
I mean, so just like human Mountain Dew. And I struggled.
Right.
Like, I was like, I left going, I'm not getting past. If I get past, something's wrong, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
You don't want to get past
No.
if you don't do good, because then people are talking shit.
Yeah, but then people think there's something going on. It's
Right.
precarious. Is she, especially as a woman,
Yeah.
the thing I always have to be aware of is no matter what, people are going to go, who did she fuck?
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. So you showcase a third time?
A third time, and I was like,
And who was on that one?
it was, Jeremiah was on it, because we got passed together. Oh, I think Kyle Ray, Jason Tebow, and maybe Doc.
Oh, yeah.
Remember
I
Doc?
was at that showcase.
Yeah,
100% was at that showcase.
Yeah. And
Because back then you'd go to the showcases.
yeah, you go in the room. People are in the room either rooting for a comedian they like or hoping to watch one they hate fail. That's just how it is. You're
I
like,
didn't do that. I was just like, this is an interesting. It's a fucking fry. You're on the frying pan.
oh yeah. And I think I went first in the lineup, and Rick Ingram brought me up. So that alone, I was like, fuck.
Oh, I remember that. He was
Fuck.
like, hey, remember his speech?
Because he didn't give a shit.
He did a speech to a lot of these comics coming up right now. They got dreams, and most of them are going to be pretty bad, but they're showcasing to become a paid regular here right now. And, we'll see about that. Like
He
this
did
whole
not
setup.
set you up to succeed. It was like, oh, the hazing never ends.
Yeah.
And I remember like, I was like, oh, I'm first. And it's Rick. Good. Fuck my face.
Yeah.
But I went up and I was just in it. I was connected. You know how it is when you have a good set. You're just present.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's probably like a little wooey, but it feels like I'm in flow when I'm having a good set.
Of course. And they're 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, it was 5 minutes. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And that's so little time if they're not on board with you, by the way, that like, fuck. But it was just first joke hit. I was in it, and I got off the stage and just to myself was like, well, if I don't get past after that, I just don't belong here.
Yeah.
And it's not like I didn't feel like I belong. I was friends with people, but I was like, that was the best I could have done. So either I'm what he wants or whatever, And then I got the call like 2 days later. Not a call. I wish it was a call.
Well,
Getting passed by Adam was just, you saw the tweet go out saying who got passed.
oh, wow.
Congratulations. So those
That's
other
kind of fire.
it's a congratulations. It was me and Jeremiah Watkins on our newest paid regulars. But prior to that, I remember just waiting for the tweet and just congratulations, Eric Myers, and being like, yeah, that makes sense. You're just like refreshing and being like, just let me down already.
Yeah.
But that was the coolest. I mean,
Yeah.
the coolest feeling. It was.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, when I started out, I was like, the bar for me was a paid regular.
Yeah.
And if I'm making enough money to pay all my bills doing stand-up, I have made it.
Yeah.
And then anything else is bonus.
I remember one time you won like a refrigerator on Price is Right.
I want to, wait,
Yeah.
washer dryer.
Yeah, because Brenton called me and he goes, yeah, we want to sell this. Do you know how? And I go, oh, yeah, Craigslist.
Craigslist. By the way, I sold it to somebody. I was very clear that it was an electric machine.
Yeah.
They came, bought it, took it, and they're like, I don't have the hookups for this. And now I'm like, oh, this was shitty. But at the time I was like, you're on your own. I'm not coming to get a washer and dryer.
Well, yeah.
You fucking didn't read.
You're not shitty,
You
People-
resell it.
People are dumb. Yeah, I go, you're on your own now. I
Yeah.
sell a lot of stuff even right now. And, they have buyer's remorse. They come up with bullshit excuses.
So you should have gone to Home Depot. I don't have a warranty, dude.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I'm not a fucking store,
Yeah.
I probably damaged it loading it in.
Yeah, you probably fucked it up, and now you want me to take it back, and you want your money back. But
So how'd that go? You go down and you wait in line for the Price is Right. Are you in a costume?
yeah, it was Let's Make a Deal, not Price is Right,
Okay.
but same thing. It's hosted by Wayne Brady. Yeah, Brenton ended up writing a really funny joke afterwards about it because we had both gone to sign up in Burbank for, what was that background casting
Oh, I
company that was
know
like
where-
really big?
Yeah.
They still exist, but someone told us about it. We're like, okay, let's go sign up for that. I never ended up doing background, by the way. Right. Someone in the line came up to us and they're like, hey, are you guys together? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, I work at Let's Make a Deal, I do the audience. They really liked, they're like, I can't like pull any strings for you guys, but they really like young, all-American looking couples. If you guys ever want to come to an episode, you dress up, you'd have a high likelihood of getting chosen.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, let's go. So when you go in, we dressed in a couple's costume. Poor fucking Brenton.
What were the costumes?
We were peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I was like peanut butter, he was jelly. And if for anyone who doesn't know Brenton Biddlecombe, sweetest man on earth, funny
he used
guy.
to tour with me. I'd have him open.
Yeah, great guy. A great joke writer. One-liners like nobody's business. And we dated back in the day. Yeah. And but quiet, reserved until you get to know him. He's like much more introverted than I am. I'm annoying, and I know that.
Yeah.
So we go, and when you walk in, the guy had told us, don't say you're entertainers. Whatever your last job was, say that. You know, say your hometown instead of LA. They want, real people. Of course. So everyone who goes through has it's a mini interview, basically, is what you're doing. They're seeing who has good energy. So we go in, and I'm like, my name's Jessica. I work in special education because I used to, and I'm from here. And then Brenton comes in and is very Brenton. He's very hello, my name's Brenton. He's very just reserved.
Yes.
So the way the episodes work is they'll pick a single individual, a couple, and then a single individual. So we're watching, we're in the crowd cheering. Then it's the part of the episode where they pick the couple and they pick another couple. And this is how I'm so unhinged. I was like, this is your fault.
Oh my God.
That's how white trash I am. I was like, we could have won a car, but you didn't bring the energy. I was pissed. I was pissed. And he's like, relax. And I was like, what? When you're
abusive relationship.
I know, what a monster I was.
Yeah.
I could apologize to 7 different men from my 20s because I was just so undiagnosed mentally ill. And I was just really excited. I was like, you should have been more energetic. And then I'm all butthurt sitting in the stands whatever. And then the last game comes and they call just me down. Yeah. They're like, the peanut butter sandwich. And I'm like, ah! It's bye.
Yeah, see ya.
And I go up and I win the consolation prize. They had 3 pieces of jewelry and you had to guess the right one. And if you guessed it, you got the piece of jewelry and the value it was. And it was worth $3,000. So they would give you the jewelry and $3,000 cash. And if you decided to go with what's behind a door because you weren't sure. And I was like, I think it's this piece. And of course, Wayne Braden is like, are you sure? I looked at the audience. Britton shrugs. And I'm like, why don't you know what this jewelry is? And then I was like, I really think it's that, but let's go behind the door. At least it'll be a fun, maybe, because you can also just get nothing. Behind the door is just like,
oh yeah, chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Just a big turd. Yeah. And then he's like, you sure? You want to second guess yourself? And I'm like, okay. So behind the door was a Roomba and a washer dryer, a stacked washer dryer. We were in an apartment. We had no place for that. They accidentally sent me 2 Roombas though, but it turned out I was right about the necklace. So I have a good eye for jewelry, but then I had to go fill out all this paperwork and Britton's just stuck on the side of the street waiting for me dressed as half a sandwich.
Oh man, it's like tax shit, right?
Poor guy. Yeah. Which who knows if I claimed it correctly? I'll never know. My mom, this is my first year that I've done my own taxes, and I'm so afraid that years from now, I'm just going to find out my mom accidentally fucked shit up.
Oh, man. I'm
like, I don't make enough. If you're coming after me, we're in trouble.
Good luck.
I would love to make enough money that you're noticing what I'm doing with my money, government, but here we are.
So you got a special coming out.
I do.
Yeah. And where'd you shoot it?
I shot it in New Orleans.
Yeah. You paid for it?
I did. It's all self-produced. It's just a classic stand-up special.
1 hour?
1 hour, yep. 3 cameras. I did it I almost did it in a music venue, but the acoustics would have been wrong for filming. It was just so loud. It was in a just loud part of New Orleans. So I actually ended up doing, we took a clothing store called Dirty Coast that does this cool New Orleans, all these kitschy New Orleans, shirts and cups and just cool local shit. It's a hipstery local spot. And we turned it into kind of Don't Tell comedy style. We got a curtain, we got a bunch of chairs and just shot it in the room, this tight little, it was a 50 seat, people smashed in.
And what made you choose New Orleans?
You know what it was? There's twofold. I was going to see Taylor Swift in New Orleans. Me and my girlfriends were like, let's go. We booked our flights, didn't have tickets, had nothing. That's a whole separate story. And I was like, oh, if I just do a show, I can write off the travel.
Right.
So at least make a little bit of money back and then write it off. And then I was like, well, I want to shoot a special anyway. Why not? It's the most unhinged, unorganized. I was like, why not shoot it in New Orleans? Because before I lived in Alaska, I lived in southern Mississippi, an hour outside of New Orleans. So we used to take trips there. New Orleans was very special to me. And a lot of the jokes in my special, there's a big chunk about my early childhood on the Gulf Coast. So I was like, why not shoot it somewhere that is the vibe? And then I will also know these jokes I'm making. Okay, the people, we're all on board with it. We've all been through this. You guys know I'm not making fun of you. We're talking about, it's like,
right.
That was just for my own sanity.
They understand the
nuance. And then it's like, and if they don't, well, then I bomb and it's not going to be a special. And then I'll be like, I guess work on your jokes, bitch. Yeah. But it was just one show.
Did you guys bark to get the people in?
No, but you know what? It was down to the fucking wire. It was the night. In retrospect, it has worked out. But I'm like, this was the dumbest idea. I'm trying to do a comedy special the night before Taylor Swift. Nobody gives a fuck about me.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is here. What are you doing? And New Orleans is a classically hard city to sell in. Any artist will tell you it's with comedy, there's just not a scene and there's so much noise to cut through. But I did some ads. I got on the news station the morning of an hour away in Mississippi. They were like, oh, she's shooting her special. So we were very lightly sold, and that's in a room that's already very small. So I'll just be honest with you guys. I think we had 30 tickets in what was a 50 seat, 55, 60. It was 60. It ended up being full, but I was like, well, it'll just be a fun show. And my Noah Kopfer, who is a great stand-up comedian, he's a young guy coming up. He opens for me a lot. He actually opened and helped me with the production and ended up directing it. I mean, when we got there. So it was, I kind of didn't have a director, but he was so helpful that I'm like, well, you get the credit, dude. And then Nate, who my boyfriend, he was helping produce it as well. They were like, it doesn't matter. it's a small room. They were it was small room anyway, but we'll
put the cameras behind the third row.
Yeah, they're like, it's going to be on you. We're not going to see the heads because I wasn't going to cut to the audience. So they're trying to do all the things you do to keep an artist from losing their mind.
Right.
And then the afternoon, it just and then by the time it went up, people were walking by, people were coming in. It became like a fire hazard. So it was it filled up and then some.
Great.
So thank God. Because I was like, okay, people want to be here. This is going to be fine. At least it got rid of me going on stage going, can't even sell a goddamn ticket in New Orleans. I'm in debt to Taylor Swift. Yeah. I'm fucking... And I just it was low budget enough that I was like, it would hurt if I have to throw this out, but either we get it or we don't. If not, because I'd been pushing, I'd had offers for people to produce little things in the last few years where it's I have the material, I'm functionally ready. And I was kind of just moving this goalpost for this unknown,
Same here.
When the time
I
is
kept
right.
waiting for Netflix. For sure they're going to grab
They're going to come around. They're going to...
Netflix saw me at the Garden, crushed.
Yeah. Oh.
They saw me at the Hollywood Bowl. I'm on their radar.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I am sure you have the same experience. The amount of people, it's you could greatly help my career. I'm positive it would come up and been like, God, you're so funny. Yeah. Keep it up. And you're like, keep it up? Help me. What do you mean, keep it up? Yeah, no, it was the same thing that I was like, oh, someone will want to put it somewhere. And then I was like, what am I waiting for?
Same here.
If that's going to happen, I have faith in myself. I'll have more material. That'll be the next one. Let me just get something.
Keep writing.
Yeah. I'm going to keep doing it either way. At this point, I haven't given up because Netflix isn't banging my door down. So it's fuck it. Especially with social media.
Now, where are you putting it out?
I'm just putting it out on punchup.live.
You were telling me about that. Explain what that is.
So it's this fairly new website. It's for comedy fans and comedians to connect a closer level with exclusive content. So basically, you make a page and you can put up exclusive clips. You can put your podcast behind it if you want, or clips from your podcast, exclusive stand-up clips. And people, when they come to see it, they'll get a little tiny 30-second preview, and then they have to join your page.
Like a Patreon.
Yeah, it's 100% free for the user. All you have to do is put your email, your name, and you put your zip code in. And that way, for comedy fans to like, comedians can be directly connected to people who like them. So when I go through a city, I can now email through Punch Up Live anyone in this city that has signed up for me. I go, hey guys, I'm going to be here. They can get first access. You can sometimes make like ticket, like they have their own ticketing platform now. So if you have if you're doing an independent venue where you run the tickets, you can make a code just for the people who follow you. And they do have options for, you can put certain clips behind a paywall. If I wanted to be like $5 for the special, I could. I'm looking at this as like, I want this to try to translate into introducing myself to people who maybe aren't totally familiar with me, because that's what you want to do. And then for me to get the people who are already fans, like, where are you? So I can contact you when I come there, and I can do my touring in a way that's makes more sense. I'm coming where the people already want to see me.
Right, yeah.
And
email list is the killer. It's back to emails because
it's the
there's
key.
no algorithm on an email.
No,
they get
it's
it
direct.
They can throw you into spam, but if they don't, they get your email.
Yeah, and you're directly connected, and it's like, this is really me, right? That I'm not like a bot. It's just you shoot off an email. And also, as a comedy fan, what's cool about it is they have your zip code now for your account. So when you log in, if you've subscribed to people, it'll suggest people that like, oh, if you like this, a lot of people who follow this person also follow this person. Check their stuff out. So it exposes us to other people's fans. But for the user, it'll just say, it gives you a list of shows near you. Wow. So if you're like, I would love to watch live comedy, and maybe you haven't before, you just go, I'll just go check out this guy.
And when's it come out?
It drops on April 29th. Yep.
And what's it called?
Hey, hi y'all.
Hi y'all.
Yep. Filmed in the South, had to do it. Yeah, little nod, and there's of course a joke about it in there, but yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's just so cool that we've been doing it about the same time, and we're
crazy, right?
Yeah,
because we are.
Yeah,
special.
We're finally.
Yeah. Because after a while, your fans are like, they see everybody else getting specials. They don't really understand. They're like, well, maybe he's not good. I mean, he just doesn't have a special.
Maybe he's hiding his stuff. Yeah. Or they're just like, eventually you get sick of people going, when are you going to get a special? And it's like, okay, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we don't have the experience and material. It's just the industry is a wild place.
Well, my fear was, oh shit, if I die right now, there's no comedy.
There's no legacy
at all. There's 4 clips.
Yeah. People go like, he was a comedian, supposedly.
Yeah. I think he did comedy, but most of he just talked about rock. So, 2025, you're going to get a little bit of rock talk and 90% comedy now. It's like, because when we were coming up, they're like, don't burn your material.
It's not even a thing now. Put it out.
Now. Oh, yeah, put it out.
Do you get on the road like... I learned that you don't really burn material from the road, because you have people come up to you after shows and go, oh, I loved it, but I was hoping you were going to do this joke.
Well, I did Nuts to Butts on the special, which is
by the way, a Dean Delray icon. There are a handful of comedians that comedians love to like do the impression of, because you got the voice and the thing. And I just remember the early days of comedy, it was just like, people would go, oh, Dean Delray's there. And someone would go, Nuts to Butts.
Yeah, it was like an iconic bit.
It was
my Hot Pockets.
It was.
And thank God for that, because you're like, and then for years I was like, am I going to be able to beat that? Oh my God.
The fear of like.
Yeah, like, I'm the Nuts to Butts guy.
That's going to be my whole thing.
And now people don't even say that, but I brought it onto the special because as kind of a tribute of like, this one put me on the map, and 170,000 people saw it on the Laugh Factory website, but that's nothing
now.
That is nothing.
Yeah. It's like there's billions of people out there.
Oh my God, yeah. So I put that on there as just kind of a tribute.
An
so
homage.
yeah, you're not burning any material, Sometimes I'll go through a city and I'll look through my notes like, shit, what did I do in this city here? And then I'll go, okay, I'll try to do this set here with one joke in it that they know. Like I had this big back joke, you know, and I go, I got to do that. And then nobody ever said like, oh, you're doing the same shit.
He's doing the same stuff over and over.
One time at the Punchline, I was on stage and I look at this guy, he's not laughing. And I go, what's wrong with you? And he goes, well, I kind of heard this stuff. And I go, when? And he goes, well, last month I saw you open for Bill. I go, well, hey, asshole, I'm not going to have a new hour.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, how do you think this works?
And you're only catching I did 20 minutes with him. So the rest of this you've never heard. So fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. That's so funny. They're like, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
I've like had moments where there's people who I start to know in cities I go. Like there's this just core group of like super fans, which is so cool. And there have been occasions where they'll be mouthing a bit.
Oh yeah.
Like if I'm like, oh, and then that's when I go, I did this one last year. Fuck.
Yeah.
Do you keep a set list for every?
No, but I can go back. I record every show.
Oh, that's
so
smart.
I can go back and just skim through it.
I do record everyone. That's a good idea.
I got them all. Yeah.
A lot of times I'm just like, I think this is enough different stuff, and it almost always is. But it's funny when they, and even like the people who are like super comedy fans start to come up and they go, oh, I like the way you changed that bit.
Oh yeah. They don't complain, man. You know, and also you're getting bigger. So you can't worry about the 30 people that saw you 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because now there's 200 people
that have never seen you.
Yeah, so you got to just give them a smasher show.
Yeah.
I want to be fire.
Yeah, and it's like those people obviously came back, so the show was good. You're fine. You don't need to worry about them. Yeah. So
thanks for doing the podcast.
Thanks for having me, man.
Tell everybody where to find you.
Follow me at JMS Comedy. Go over to punchup.live/JMS to get that special. And go see live comedy. Go see Dean. Go see somebody.
Yeah. Thank you so much for doing it.
Thanks for having me, man.
Candles lit, people.